We're back. Today we have King Crimson, Starless and Bible Black. It was released on March 29th, 1974, 18 days after Chicago 7, and it's 1 year and 6 days after Larks Tongue and Aspic. So quite a long layoff for King Crimson. It has 8 songs, just under 47 minutes, and the band is pretty much the same as Larks Tongue. It's Fripp, Wetton, Bruford, and Cross, and on this one, Jamie Muir is out. So you might remember on Lark's Tongue, Jamie Muir did all the weird noises and the bicycle horns and everything, and some additional drumming and percussions. Well, on this one, Fripp's on guitar, Wetton is on bass and vocals, Bruford's doing all the drummings and percussions, and Cross is on mellotron and violin primarily. And this is a prog rock album. It's experimental. There's a lot of free improv on it, and art rock and album rock, and you name it, it's on there. And the album cover is by someone named Tom Phillips. I went and looked at Tom Phillips' website. It says the text-only cover design wasn't without precedent for rock albums of this period, but the pattern of overlaid stencil lettering inside the gatefold runs contrary to the airbrush fantasy art that was a staple of the era. On the back cover, an intriguing phrase from a humament appears in frame detail. This night wounds time. Right here. I really got to zoom in there, though. That's hard to read, I bet, right? Yeah, this night wounds time. To me, it's just green on cream. Kind of boring, actually, but they were going for something a little bit artsy here. So yeah, pretty cool. Cool but boring. Okay, does that make sense? My copy here is a 24-bit HD CD copy, the 30th anniversary, and you can see on the disc it says right there, 30th anniversary edition. And I bought this. Let's see, this is fairly new for me. I bought this at Amoeba Records in San Francisco, June 16th, 2022. And I also bought a can CD, Future Days, Stone Temple Pilots Purple, Stone Temple Pilots Core, and Porcupine Tree Anesthetize. Anesthetize is hard for me to say. And then I got King Crimson live in Washington and Albany. And I bought that all in the same day. And then I went back a day or two later and I bought Heavy Construction by King Crimson, because I knew they had it, and I was like, why didn't I just get it when I was there? So, okay, yeah, on the back cover, you've got the names of the songs and who wrote the song. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. The inside, these King Crimson, the reissues, especially the 30th anniversary, they've got, like, newspaper clips and headlines and photos of the band and stuff, so it's kind of cool. I don't look at it too much. This just says Starless and Bible Black over and over again. I'd like to, what I should do is take the red Alice in Chains CD and see if I can decode it, I bet that does something. Nah, it doesn't do anything. Never mind. Okay, anyway, what does it sound like? It sounds like a King Crimson album, primarily, partially 70s style, but then you get a sneak peek of the future with Fracture. So where it's beginning to sound more like Discipline or Construction of Light. Okay? All right, that's my take anyway. So track number 1 is The Great Deceiver. It's 4 minutes and 2 seconds, and it's written by John Wetton, Richard Palmer James, and Robert Fripp. Richard Palmer James was John Wetton's friend at the time, and he wrote the lyrics, so he is continuing to fill the gap. The gap that was filled by the previous lyricist from King Crimson. Pete Sinfield used to do it, and when Fripp parted ways with Pete Sinfield, then he got Richard Palmer James to help with the lyrics. So, okay, The Great Deceiver. It's a song about the devil, and the Great Deceiver is the devil, and it's a great fit because King Crimson also refers to the devil in the name of the band itself, King Crimson, the devil. So, The Great Deceiver is in the key of A minor, and Mac Bass Life on YouTube did a really good bass tab, tuning the bass as G, D, E, A, so tuning the E string down, tuning every string down, but G, D, E, A. And I'll give you the link to the YouTube, and you can listen to it. You can actually listen to the bass tabs as you listen to the song, and it's kind of cool. It's 128 beats per minute, and there's multiple time signatures, 12/8 time in 140 beats per minute for the verse, and then 3/4 time for the chorus, so more like a waltz, I guess. It doesn't feel like a waltz, but it's in 3/4 time. And a lot of the jam is in 4/4 time. There's a big jam part of the song. The lyrics to the song has always been controversial. Fripp wrote the cigarettes, ice cream, figurines, the Virgin Mary verse part. The verse, it's the only King Crimson lyrics he's ever authored in response to the commercialization of Vatican City. That's why he wrote that. And the rest of the words were written by Richard Palmer James. In an entry in Robert's diary at the DGM website, did you guys ever go look at DGM? It's got all the King Crimson stuff. Fripp wrote about the health food faggot verse. At the DGM playback for The Night Watch, London 1997, I asked Richard Palmer James, I being Bob Fripp, I asked Richard Palmer James, the lyricist for that, and several other King Crimson songs of the 72 to 74 period, what he had meant. Richard had no gay reference in mind. His notion of the F word was the health food version of a meatball. The insulting gay connotation only occurred to him later, end of quotes. So that one always slipped by me. When I'm listening to King Crimson, I'm usually not like singing along or I'm not really that dialed into the lyrics. Although when you get to the 80s albums, Adrian's got some real weird stuff going on there. But that line has always been controversial, so he addressed it there. I don't think it means the same thing in America, or at least it didn't back in the 70s. The intro to the song is about 40 seconds long, 20 bars according to the bass tabs, that a link I'm going to give you. The verse is the health food with a bartered wife, bartered bride. That's 11 or 12 bars in 12/8 time. And then the refrain is great deceiver. That's 4 bars in that 3/4 waltz time. The chorus, which I mentioned already, cigarettes, ice cream, figurines of the Virgin Mary, that's 10 bars. And then there's an interlude which runs from 1 minute 50 seconds to 2 minutes 15 seconds. Just like the beginning, the intro, 16 bars in 4/4 time, 122 beats per minute. But it's that whole it's kind of a cool I like the beginning and I like the interlude. The third verse has a new guitar, at least it sounds like it could be the violin line on top of it, like really high screeching. I'm not sure if it's the guitar or the violin, but it's different from the first 2 verses. And the song structure is verse, refrain, interlude, verse, refrain, verse, chorus, outro. And that's The Great Deceiver. Great start to the album. Track 2 is Lament. It's 4 minutes long on the dot. Written by Wetton, Palmer James, and Fripp. It's in the key of C sharp minor, 167 beats per minute in 4/4 time. The verse is, I guess I tried to show you how I take the crowd with my guitar it's about 34 bars. And then there's a jam part that runs from 1 minute 22 seconds to 1 minute 54 seconds. Dot on the bass. It's about 32 seconds long. And then the second verse is, I'll thank the man who's on the phone, and if he's got some time to spend. It's about half the first verse. So the first verse is 34 bars. It's about half of that, like 16. And then Jam 2 runs from 2 minutes and 17 seconds to 3 minutes and 20 seconds. More of a lead guitar and drum in the lead here, about 63 seconds. And then the third verse is, I like the way you look at me, you're laughing too, down there inside. And again, it's about half the first verse, about 16 bars. The coda runs from 3 minutes and 50 seconds to the 4 minute mark, about 10 seconds. And Lament is verse, jam, the second jam, and then verse, and then the outro coda. But the first two songs, The Great Deceiver and Lament, are awesome. Okay, great album. Track 3 is We'll Let You Know. It's 3 minutes and 46 seconds, written by David Cross. He's listed first. Wetton, Palmer James, and Fripp. It's in the key of A major, lots of A chords if you go look at it online, and 86 beats per minute changing. It's the beginning is the whole song's an instrumental. It's a lot of noodling until 2 minutes and 48 seconds the song takes flight. And in that really slow 4/4 86 beat per minute groove, I like John Wetton and Bill Bruford. And these improvs are a lot better than what you hear on Heavy Construction, which I referenced earlier, which is the live album tour of The Construction of Light. These improvs really work. Track 4 is The Night Watch. It's 4 minutes and 37 seconds long. It's written by Wetton, Palmer James, and Fripp, and it's in the key of B minor. The chords are B minor, G, F sharp minor, and E minor, and it's 125 beats per minute in 4/4 time. The intro goes until 1 minute and 24 seconds, and then the verse comes in. Shine, shine, the light of good works shine. The watch before the city gates depicted in their prime. It's about 12 bars, maybe. And then in verse 2, the artist knew their faces well, the husbands of his lady friends. It's 8 bars. It's also at a different tempo, too. It's like and then verse 3 is the smell of paint, a flask of wine, and turn those faces all to me. It's another 8 bars. And then the fourth verse is, so many years we suffered here, our country racked with Spanish wars. 6 bars plus a couple of extra bars of music to get it to about 8 bars. And then the outro begins with a few bars of violin lead music, and then the pride of little men, the burger's good and true. That's the outro. And that's the song. It's a song about a painting, a famous painting. In fact, it in the cover, in the insert, it talks about it. But it's verse, 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 outro. And that's the song structure. The Night Watch. Track 5 is an improv called Trio. It's 5 minutes and 41 seconds, written by Cross, Wetton, Palmer James, and Fripp. And the key of C major chords are F, C, A minor, and D. And it's 75 beats per minute in 4/4 time. Like I said, it's an improv, so it's an instrumental also. The key words here are admirable restriction. Bill Bruford gets songwriting credit, but he never joined the improv. He just sat there waiting to come in and didn't play. But this Trio is another violin-led song, and some good mellotron in it, and a good bottom bass to it provided by Wetton. That's Trio. Track 6 is The Mincer. It's 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Credited to Bruford, Cross, Wetton, Palmer James, and Fripp, so the whole band. This is the scariest song on the album. Mellotron and Fripp playing scary guitar sounds in the intro. It's in the key of A major, 143 beats per minute in 4/4 time. The intro has this real scary mellotron and a really low bottom end bass by Wetton, just banging away, and Bruford doing his weird jazz drumming. The verse starts at 3:07 and it's about 30 bars, and then the song just abruptly ends. So the verse is fingers reaching, linger shrieking, jump at a scream, good night honey, you're all alone, baby breathing, they come better looking, but they don't come matter. Like I said, it's an instrumental, and those aren't really spoken words. They're sung at a pretty slowly. But yeah, the content of the lyrics matches the scariness of the song. So I'm a big fan of The Mincer. Track 7 is Starless and Bible Black, 9 minutes and 11 seconds. Bruford, Cross, Wetton, and Fripp are credited here. And it's another instrumental in the key of A major. Chords are A's, E7s, G. There's a bunch of chords. It's 150 beats per minute. This is part of the same improv that the song Starless comes from on the album Red. So this part here is more like something you would hear on In the Court of the Crimson King, like Moonchild, but it's actually opposite Moonchild. Moonchild starts strong and then ends really light and just kind of, it almost like drifts away, it like floats away into nothingness. Starless and Bible Black really picks up some steam around the 4 minutes and 46-second mark after the very light beginning. And at 4:46 is when it gets really interesting. I like it when Wetton is holding down the beat with Bruford in the second half of the song, rather than when Wetton's trying to be melodic, like in the first half of the song. It doesn't come off as good. But sometime after the 7-minute mark, the song gets eerie. Again, kind of like the Mincer, but very good ending. And I like Starless and Bible Black. Track 8 is Fracture, written by Robert Fripp. It's 11 minutes and 14 seconds. And my take on this song, it's a preview of what's to come with the Adrian Belew era, all the way through to 2003. Just arpeggios galore, okay? The main riff of this song is the where, like a one, two, doo, doo. Okay, and then the arpeggiated boop 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 boop. That's the song. That's like most of the song there. If you just did those two things, the where and then the boop 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 boop, that's the whole song. At 7 minutes and 42 seconds, the best part of the song kicks in the style of Larks Tongues and Aspic Part 2. And it sounds like that whole AOL CompuServe sound, like you're dialing into the internet background around the 8 minute 35 second-ish mark. And then at 9 minutes and 14 seconds, or around the 236 measure, the beat and melody sounds like the violin is in the lead. And it's a different take on the where, but it's the same kind of, the violin's doing the same thing, but it's doing it in a little bit different cadence, like a change up. And it's also played faster at a faster tempo. But what I'll give you guys the link to the Fracture tabs too, because if you go to YouTube channel From Music, that person has tabbed out the Fracture bass tabs. And that's pretty cool. You can actually listen to the song and follow the tempo right up to the very end of the song. So it's pretty right on money. It's not perfect, but it's very close. The key of A major chords are A, A7, G, A, and there are long stretches of Fracture in 5/4 and periodically in 4/4 time at 63 beats per minute. And then the other part of Fracture is in 7/8 time, 6/4, and 4/4 time at the tempo. That's when the tempo change speeds up. That whole boop, boop, boop part. That's Fracture, okay? No lyrics, just an instrumental, and it's not an improv. It's something that, what I read is Bob Fripp wrote that after the tour for Larks Tongue. That was like one of the songs that he wrote in between the tour and going back to the studio. Okay, that's it. That's Starless and Bible Black. So in summary, bestsellingalbums.com, or .org actually, it says 15,000 copies sold. That's number 8 for King Crimson. Let's face it, King Crimson is an underground band. They're not going to do well, especially in a popularity contest. Their only gold album is In the Court of the Crimson King. And that's about the only one that really sold. This one charted in Japan. That's where that 15,000 copies comes from. Japan. I don't know what it did in the other countries. It's not reported. ProgArchives.com gives it a 3.95. That's their user score based on 140 Prog Archives users. That's pretty good. AllMusic.com gives it a 4.5 stars. Bruce Eder, their writer, says it's more powerful and daring than Larks Tongue and Aspic. I don't know if it's more powerful. It's probably more daring, just because there's more improvs and more freeform. I don't think it's a better album than Larks Tongues, but it's pretty good. I'm gonna check, where did I have this ranked? Rolling Stone in June 1974 was given a favorable ranking by Gordon Fletcher. I wanted to read the write-up, but I couldn't. The link was broken, so I couldn't read it. In 1992, someone for the Rolling Stone named Rob Sheffield gave it 3.5 stars. That's, somewhere between, it's between 3.5, 4 stars. It's a pretty good album. Let me just check here real quick. I have this 6 for King Crimson, Starless and Bible Black. So I've got it behind Islands and ahead of In the Court of the Crimson King. I'll stand by that. I do like Islands better. I probably like it better than Court. I've got Larks ahead of it and Lizard. Yeah. That's right. That's right on. That's right on. I've got it 6. By the way, 6 is pretty good. I mean, the King Crimson albums are all really good. They're my favorites. So, okay, that's the end. Starless and Bible Black. Excellent album. Cream and Green, okay? What's next? Next on the channel will be King Crimson again, Red. And then after that, Kiss Hotter Than Hell. Although, before Red, I might do a Rush. I kind of feel like doing a Rush video. Let me think about that. Maybe later this week, all right? Thanks, everybody.